Hi everybody, let's talk about power modes today. I feel they are not well understood and it's difficult to describe what power modes are. It might be easier to demonstrate it. It's Saturday, the shop is closed, we're having a windstorm outside, and I'm here by myself. Alright, so by looking at this lab scope, you can see we're at 0 milliamp draw. A milliamp is a thousandth of an amp. It's a very small unit of current. 1 milliamp is almost insignificant. About 1 amp would be a light bulb for your interior. So if you divided that by 1,000, that would be 1 milliamp. 100 milliamps is a tenth of an amp. 500 milliamps is a half an amp. What is acceptable for a key-off draw? Well, some keep alive memory CAM systems require 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 milliamps. You don't want to see much more than that. When you key down your vehicle, a lot of things happen. Modules are being put to sleep. Retained accessory power is keeping things alive that you may need, like lights. Adaptives are being saved. There's a whole slew of things that it takes to wake up and put a network to sleep. So we're going to demonstrate it on this LS3. LS3 sure is a nice looking motor and looks small inside this engine compartment. So we're going to let's fire this vehicle up. Okay, this scale is auto-ranging. You can see it auto-range to the 20 amp scale. I'm pulling about 9 amps. 9 amps is what about the engines require to run. That's coils, injectors, other things. So let's let it run here a second, make sure all the systems are alive. This LS3 is one of my favorite engines. Very powerful, but also very docile. We're running a Pentastar fan on this 08JK, and it is computer controlled. All right, let's turn off the key now. And I'm going to remove the key because with the key in the ignition, that actually puts it into a different mode. So instantly you're going to see that we're down to 350 milliamps. We're still on a 20 amp scale, so I'm going to auto range it back to a 400 milliamp scale. Now you can see we're at 0.20. That's about 200 milliamps. And that's about where you would stick if you were to not have a BCM in this, 180 milliamp load, or even if you did have a BCM in this, a lot of these limp power modes are around 150 to 180 milliamps. So you can see now we drop down to 0. Let's take a look at a different operating system. Now this Jeep had the battery dead. I'm going to fire it up, and I'm hooked into the negative side instead of the positive because it was just easier to get to. So while it's running, you're going to see the current is going the other way, so we're not actually going to see a number. Yeah, it maxed out. This low amp probe was only good for 40 amps. This alternator is putting out more than that, so it just maxed out at 40 amps. Now when I turn the key off, we're going to go back into the positive reading. Battery can take 30, 40, 50 amps or more when it's low. But you really want to try to charge your battery up and not put that strain on the alternator. Turn our key off. Pull the key out. Let's get over here and look at these power modes now. Okay, let's auto range it. We're at 4 3/4 amps. What's happening right now is retained accessory power, cam, adaptives, things are going on. We don't really understand what's going on, but they are going on. If you were just to shut power off at this point to your modules, then you're going to be bypassing this power down step. You could lead to a limp draw, adaptives that clear, monitors that don't set, and a host of other issues. So what you're going to see now is the computer stage the power down. These are power modes. And it can take a minute or longer depending on the conditions. Every step you see is a computer making a decision to do something. If everything's not right, we're not going to go near zero. Now, you may not get down to zero because, again, there's keep alive memory, which draws a little bit of current. See if I can auto range this. Okay, now we're down to 1/4 of an amp. There you go. So we are now at 30 milliamps, which is actually acceptable for the entire vehicle. 30 to 40 milliamps. It'll probably even drop below that in just a little bit, but there's still systems alive. But hopefully this demonstrates what and how important power modes are in a modern operating system. You can't just power down or turn off ignition to a module these days. It would be similar to unplugging your PC while it's powered up. You don't know what data you're going to lose. You don't know what mode it's going to go into. So the next time you key up and the network wakes up, all the appropriate adaptives, monitors, drive cycles are saved for the next step, for the next drive. So I hope that takes a little bit of the mystery out of the power modes. And in the early days of our swap, we actually built our own power mode module, which is now incorporated into our motech module, but we actually count on the power mode module inside the body control module to do the work on our current swaps.